kids and kittens. So I'm epoxying the countertop, the other countertop. Many of you have asked how I did this, so I figured I would actually demo it. So, gloves, epoxy. I use stone coat. It's amazing. Highly recommend it. Durable. It's what I use in my showers and in the other half of the countertop. So, once I got it mixed up for about a minute, I poured into clean containers, plastic containers, a black paint. I'm just using acrylic paint, making sure that it's less than 10% of the overall. I have more paint in case I need it to tint it. I also have painted the countertop black because I'm going for a black marble look. Very important to paint your surface beforehand. I also took 220 grit sandpaper and sanded down the whole thing so it had something to cling on to. So without further ado, I'm going to pour the majority of my epoxy into the black container, and then I'm going to pour a little bit into the white. The white is just the marble look of it, so I don't need a ton. I'm also going to keep a little bit of clear. I'm going to put more in here. Clear, you will see why in a little bit. I have to say that everything I've learned has been from Sonia. She's amazing. I don't know where I'd be without her. So from here, and I'm going to mix in the paint. Alright, so my white looks pretty milky. That's not how the other side looks, so I'm going to add a touch more of white paint to this. The black paint that I'm using is also a metallic. It gives it a little bit of a glimmer. I personally really like it. Depends on what look you're going for. Now the white, on the other hand, I'm not using the metallic for the white. Stir it like you're stirring cookies. Go from the bottom, pull it up, go around in circles, switch the rotation. It'll heat up. Now for this particular half of the counter, I went ahead and did 12 and 12 ounces, equal parts A and B, but I think I could probably have gotten away with a little bit less, but I'd rather have way too much as opposed to have to come back to it later. So I'm going to put the white over here. I still have a little bit of clear, remember that. And now I'm going with the black. So with this black, I'm actually going to pour it over the entire thing. So from here, I'm just going to pour it out. Nice and even as possible. I'm just going to pour all of it out. I'll leave that here so it can kind of, there's a lot more. Then I'm going to use my fingers and I'm going to smooth it out with my fingers. I'm in a kind of a cold environment. I'm up in Oregon, so I'm going to have to work fairly quickly. It's a little bit harder, even though I heated up the epoxy before I mixed it. It's definitely something that you want to have in, 65 degrees or higher. So I'm really going to have to work to push this around. Yeah, it's just really, really important to have a warm temperature if you have a heater. I'm going to use a butane heater to make sure I get all the bubbles out, but you can also use that to kind of push around, or a heat gun to push around the epoxy to make it a little bit smoother. The counter is now all black. I'm going to try to tilt it down so you can see a little bit better. There we go. And now I'm going to come in with color. And because I use metallic, I can see the streak lines in the countertop. So if that's something that you don't like, you can go ahead and kind of play around with them. I'm going to swirl them like I did the last countertop. So I'm going to swirl the marbleization in similar patterns. So I'm just going to kind of push it around. The purpose of the clear epoxy is that is where I'm going to put the white marbleization. So I'm going to go ahead and take the clear and I'm going to pour it right along this path. And it doesn't have to be very much at all. So I'm just going to have a swirl, something like that. And then the other one's going to come in here. Alright, now we go with the white. Okay. Ooh. And I'm going to use this for all of the air bubbles. So any air bubbles that you see, you can go ahead and hit them up with this. It'll pop them. Also smooth them out.